Jared here with another wonderful video, and I thank you for being here with me today. If you haven't subscribed, please do so already. In today's video, we're going to discuss the 5 questions that I've been asked the most regarding my work. Now, I get asked a ton of questions, sometimes hundreds a week, sometimes more. So it's hard to really keep track. But from the top of my head, these are the 5 questions that I've been asked the most. And I did take some notes so I wouldn't forget. Number 1. How did you know that you had a gift? How did you know that you were different? Well, I knew as a little kid. For those of you who haven't done so already, I do suggest, ordering my book. It's a kind of spirituality 101, but it's my my path and how I got to this point. But to answer that question, I knew as a kid I could see things and feel things that others could not. I understood I was different. I just didn't know how until much later in life. But it was very, very, very obvious that I had some type of spiritual gift. I just never really understood it, or to what extent. As a young kid, even as a teenager, I never thought I'd be doing exorcisms in haunted houses when I was older. But I knew very, very early on, maybe as early as 2 or 3 years old. Next question. How are you different from others? Well, I'm very different. Unique. First of all, we're all different. We're all special. We're all unique. But one or a few of the things I would say that make me different from many others in the so-called spiritual field is, first of all, for me, this isn't a job. It's not work. It's who I am and what I do, and I was chosen. Most people in the spiritual field, although many claim to be, were not chosen to do this work. Many took a course. Okay, the minute you take a course, you're not chosen to do this work. You have a gift, you don't. And 99.9% of all people in the spiritual field took some type of course or many courses to learn how to do this type of work. Okay, so I'm different in that regard. I was born with this legitimately, never took a course. Okay, on St. Catherine Street or anywhere else, for those of you who know Montreal or Quebec. I'm also different, and a lot of people mention, well, Jared, you have a painting of Jesus and a very big holy rabbi and Padre Pio, the Italian saint, on your wall, but no certificates. Well, again, I never took a course, so you won't see a certificate in my office. Not to mention, last time I checked, I had one master, and it was God Almighty. Okay, the last time I checked, my master was God Almighty. All right, so I would never have any certificate calling myself any type of master in any way, shape, or form. But most people in my field don't really deal with God, don't talk about God. It's one of the things that really separates me from many others. Is it's very clear where I stand. I don't beat around the bush. I tell it the way it is, and everyone knows that I work for God. I stand by God, and they know exactly where I'm coming from. One of the other ways that I am a little bit different is there are many people that have, 1 gift, 2 gifts. Some people can sometimes speak to those who have passed. Some people can sometimes help others heal as real legitimate shamans, unlike the majority. Sometimes people can get visions or see things. My gift is that I'm a vessel, so I can do all the above, as well as kill demons and get rid of entities in haunted homes. So I'm different in many, many, many ways. Next question. Oh, this is a big one. Jared, aren't you scared to go into crazy haunted homes and to do crazy exorcisms? And for many who know me, for many of you who have seen some of the videos that I have posted, sometimes my exorcisms get a little far out. I've had some pretty crazy episodes in haunted homes. So the question is, Jared, aren't you scared? My answer remains the same, and it's the same one that I tell everyone all the time. Why should I be scared? From what should I be scared? If I work for God and He's sending me here, He's the one who chose me to do the work that I'm doing, and He is with me in my work, and He is the master and ruler of the universe, of all universes for that matter. He is the one and only true God. Of what should I be scared? Of whom should I be scared? And that's my answer. No, I'm not scared. Because I know who has my back. It's really that simple. Next question. I get this a lot, and it's kind of surprising because of the obvious, but Jared, how do you know someone has a... How do we know if someone's possessed or has an attachment? And furthermore, second part to that question, when I'm working on somebody, because sometimes it's more subtle, it's not always someone climbing a wall, it's usually not. How do you know the demon's gone? Well, aside from the obvious, first of all, when someone is shaking or someone has black eyes or speaking Latin or another language that they don't know. When someone is experiencing crazy things, doing things and forgetting about it, saying things, forgetting about it, there's certain obvious signs that you know that there's a problem. Most people just don't want to admit that, oh my God, could this be possible? Could I be possessed? Could there be a demon attached to me? But a lot of the times it is more subtle. It manifests in anxiety. It manifests in depression. It manifests in fits of anger. And again, you know, sometimes forgetting things that people have said, forgetting things that they've done. So very often it could be a lot more subtle, a feeling of heaviness, a feeling of being watched, you know, kind of light voices, so to speak, in the head, because it's never, you're not actually hearing it, you're hearing it in your mind, not with your ears, right? It's not like a very, very clear one where your head is pounding and there's like a trumpet blazing in your ear. So how do I see it? How do I know something's there? Well, because I could see, not with my eyes. A lot of people have seen me when I'm working, my eyes are closed. I can feel it, the palms of my hands. I can sense it. And I can see it with my soul. Same thing when I go to a haunted house. Very often people have gone with machines so they know where things are and I come after. Or when a customer will tell me, oh yeah, you went to an exact area and put up your hand to get rid of something, and there's, oh, I've always felt things there, or things have moved in that location, because I'm a little bit more like an animal in that regard. Animals have a much higher vibration, so to speak. Spiritually, they can sense and feel and see things that humans cannot. Much like young kids. A lot of times people are like, yeah, my baby's always going blah, 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 in a certain area, and they're pointing to a certain area. Because children are still pure. They haven't been corrupted yet by the physical body. So they're still at a very high level. Their intuition, their spiritual ability is a lot higher than adults, unlike a young kid or an animal. And it's the same thing for how do I know when something's gone? I mean, aside from the fact very often when I'm doing an exorcism, someone is shaking in my chair when I touch them or mention certain things, or they're screaming in agony, or rather the demon is. When it stops, it's a pretty good indication that the thing's probably gone. But again, I can see the demon. I can feel the demon, which also means I know when it's not there anymore. It's really that simple. Next question. And I believe this is the last one. How can I do what you do, Jared? Well, I mean this with all due respect. You can't. Nor should you. We all have our own gift. We all have our own mission. I was chosen for this. There's not many doing exactly what it is that I'm doing on the planet. People have asked me before. There's 12. Add a few more who do it to a high extent, maybe at the same extent, and yeah, you have maybe you know, 12, 20 in total, but 12 really that are doing it at this level in the world. So you can't, nor should you want to. You can't take a course to do this. The same way as a kid, I wanted to be a hockey player. I wanted to be like Bobby Orr or Mario Lemieux. That didn't exactly work out for me the way I would have liked. So you can't be me. Be you. You don't need to be me. Okay? Be yourself. Be the best you that you can be. Okay? And those are the five questions that I came up with. I'm sure there are more, and feel free, for those of you watching the video, please share it, please like, please comment. And in your comments, feel free to ask questions. or give one that I didn't cover that you feel, because I'm sure I've missed some. I get questions all the time, and I just, it's impossible to keep track of everything. These are the 5 that came to mind. If you feel that maybe there's one in particular that I might have been asked, or you think is a question that you would have asked, write it in the comments. Maybe I'll do another video. Thank you for watching. And un petit message pour mes clients puis ceux qui me suivent en français. Merci pour regarder la vidéo. On peut voir qu'il y a les sous-titres. Vous pouvez voir qu'il y a des sous-titres. C'est la chose la plus facile de faire de vidéos en anglais. C'est un peu plus facile pour moi de m'exprimer en anglais. Mais au moins avec les sous-titres, vous pouvez tout comprendre. Puis il y a plusieurs d'entre vous qui parlent et comprennent assez bien l'anglais en tout cas. So thank you everyone for watching. Please subscribe, s'il vous plaît, abonnez-vous. Merci pour regarder. And I appreciate it. God bless you all. Que Dieu vous bénisse.